This is a presentation for Chillflix by Heather Resendiz, a study in stereotypes. The movie we'll be talking about today is the movie Life, featuring Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. It was released in 1999. It was a comedy drama. It's actually one of those movies where you're laughing more at the characters than with the characters, because it's actually a very sad story. It was written by Robert Ramsey and Matthew Stone. Overview. In New York in 1932, two men meet and are forced by a gangster to run liquor to Natchez under the Hill. They are blackmailed for murder and are sent to prison at Camp 8 for life. This is a black prison camp with a white overseer, and he has an assistant, which is the classic Tom, they call Hoppin' Bob, and he enforces the law along with the warden. They spend their entire lives trying to escape or con their way out of prison, and they finally succeed as old men. Stereotypes that you see in this movie are abundant. Almost any stereotype that you can think of is portrayed in this film. We'll start with a few here. This is Hopping Bob. Hopping Bob is a classic Tom. He does whatever the sheriff wants him to do, and he will subjugate his fellow black prisoners in order to get ahead with the sheriff. This character is Can't Get Right, and he plays the character of Sambo, which was introduced in our studies, even though it wasn't one of the main characters. And he is not a very intelligent character. He is mute. He can't speak. The only quality that he has that is good is that he is a good athlete and can play baseball. And actually in this movie, because he can play baseball, regardless of what he did, he was released from prison to play in the Negro League. Ray Gibson is a Nat stereotype. He rebels against everything. He wants to get out of jail and beat the man and beat the rap. Other stereotypes in this movie are the brute. And there are many brutes in this movie. Goldmouth is one of the main ones, along with Jangle Leg. And these characters are very funny. They are sassy. They talk back. But in reality, they try to take what they want by force. They fight with Ray and Claude. And in the end, they all become friends. But throughout this movie, you see these prisoners that confess to doing horrible things. Killing Santa Claus, killing their mom. All the people in this camp have done horrible things, except for Ray and Claude, who were blackmailed. Stereotypes to avoid in movies like this. Portraying black men as criminals. All the black men in this movie were portrayed as criminals. Most of them shown to actually have done their crime, and they're paying for it with their life. They're shown as uneducated, crude. Actually, Ray and Claude are the only ones in camp that can read. This movie shows black men in prison. It shows them as being violent, as I said before, killing Santa Claus, killing their mothers. And more than that, it shows black males in hopeless situations. This movie shows Ray and Claude. They were blackmailed. They find no justice. Every time they think they've got a plan to get out or be cleared, they are shot down and their plans are ruined. This movie was not a very successful movie. It did not make as much money as it cost to make the film. And as I said, it's actually a very sad movie. They spend their entire life making jokes and fighting and trying to get free, and they ultimately do, but as old men, and they go to a baseball game, having spent their entire lives in prison. To make a better movie, a more successful movie, I suggest following the path of these other movies that you see here that were more successful and more meaningful. The movie Amistad was a very successful movie. Ray, featuring Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles, and Eddie Murphy in Dr. Dolittle, where he plays a very educated man, still very loud and vocal, but he's a family man. He's doing good things, and he's very lovable, unlike some of the characters in this other movie. And these three movies were all more successful than the movie Life. Thank you, and I hope that this has helped you to see what kind of things need to be portrayed in movies, showing men as successful, black men as equals, and that they can find justice in today's society, and that they're not someone to be laughed at and made fun of. And I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you, from Heather Resendiz at chillflix.com.